again. Welcome to the wrestle-magic podcast speed round. So, in case you couldn't tell, that looks new. Brad isn't here this week. He is busy doing other stuff. So, I want to do a recap for this week in wrestling, but I don't want it to be super long because it is 1 in the morning and I want to go to bed. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a challenge, and you guys get to see if I fail or win that challenge. So, for this challenge, I will give myself 15 minutes on the clock. And in 15 minutes, I have to cover Payback, I have to cover Raw, cover SmackDown, cover NXT, and fit in the Wrestler of the Week. All 5 of those things need to happen in 15 minutes or less. So, there should be some stakes involved. So, if I succeed in this, I will get to be playing one of my favorite wrestling games. Let me see if you can see it on the camera. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. If I fail this, I'm going to play a game that I haven't played before, but at the same time, I hear it has bad reviews. We'll play some TNA Impact for PlayStation 3. So those are the stakes involved. I have to get this done in 15 minutes, or else I play TNA Impact. Alright, and tell me in the comments if you like these things. And tell you what, if this video gets 30 likes in 2 weeks, I will do both games. Fair enough? Fair enough. And let's set up the timer on the clock. Timer on now. Look at that. I got myself an extra second to look. Let's start things off with Payback. Let's actually change that to 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the show started with Enzo and Cass vs. Club, meaningless match, Cass and Enzo win. Then we had the Miz TV with Finn Balor, standard faller. Miz talks some trash, gets beat up in the end. Then we have one of the great matches of the night, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. I didn't really see Chris Jericho winning. Chris Jericho won with the Walls of Jericho. Really great spot with the finger on the rope, reminiscent of WrestleMania, when that's what broke up the pinfall. Austin Aries versus Neville. I really liked how the DQ went down. I love how it extends the rivalry. Austin Aries beat Neville via disqualification. Then we had the Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Really brutal match. I didn't love it, but it was like really brutal to see Jeff's tooth get knocked out and Matt Hardy bleeding. Sheamus, what is wrong with you? But after the match which the Hardys won, they shook hands. Hardy celebrated with Sheamus and Cesaro coming back in the ring, taking him out, turning heel, and the Hardys are slightly on their more broken path from what I saw. Then we had the Women's Championship match. It was pretty much a given that WWE would give the Women's Championship victory to the person who wasn't wrestling in their hometown. I think I was pulling for Alexa Bliss, but Bayley in her hometown is really rough. But Alexa Bliss won. I'm going to double check later who won predictions between me and Brad, and we will cover it on the next Hot Topic podcast, which will come later this week. Then we had Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Oh, that's what I forgot. So in between these two matches, the women's title match and Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe, House of Horrors match starts. And it's very funny. It's basically Randy Orton looking around clueless and going, what, and everything he sees. So it was absolutely great. For me, it wasn't the best type of match. It was just brawling, but it made me laugh and made me have fun. So it started there and it ended with Bray Wyatt trapping Randy Orton on a refrigerator, getting into the limo and saying, "Driver, take me to the arena," which is arguably a couple states away. Then we had Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Seth Rollins beat Samoa Joe with a roll-up. I can tell that this feud is not over, and it is very prominent about that next time on Raw. Then we had the House of Horrors match finish. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton battle in the arena. Randy Orton appears out of nowhere. They fight for a bit. Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers cost Randy Orton the match. Bray Wyatt gets the win. Then we had the main event, Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. I keep looking at my notes here in case you couldn't tell. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. Brutal match. Roman Reigns was selling perfectly, and the match ended with Braun Strowman hitting 2 power slams for the win, and then the attack afterwards with steel step, making Roman Reigns cough up blood, and then trying to attack him backstage, running into an ambulance door. I thought that was very funny. So that's how Payback was, and that's how it ended. Time check, 11:38. I'm doing great. Alright. These changes are part of the time. Alright, so Raw begins with the championship coronation, and Alexa Bliss is coronated as the new goddess of Raw, I believe. And she gets tipped over by Bayley. It turns into an 8-woman tag match, which the heels win with Alexa Bliss winning with the DDT. I really love how the DDT has become a prominent finisher, at least for the women's sake, because you are dropping somebody on their head. It makes sense for it to be a devastating move. Then you had Gallows versus Enzo Amore. Luke Gallows won. 50-50 booking. Yay. Nobody really cares. Then, every second counts. Then Seth Rollins comes out to address what's next. He says he wants a Universal Championship. Finn Balor comes out and interrupts him and says he wants a Universal Championship. Dean says he wants to fight, and he's been aching for a fight, and he has his Intercontinental Championship sitting here waiting for him. Why worry about the Universal Championship when the Intercontinental Championship is here? And The Miz says he wants the Intercontinental Championship. So Dean Ambrose calls Kurt Angle, and the match is made. Triple threat match for the main event. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, The Miz. Six-man tag, Gallagher, Swan, and Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar, and Tony Nese. Faces go over. Really fine match. Similar to the New Japan style of six-man tag. It's just really quick six-man tag. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. Scroll down. Sheamus and Soros basically explain why they turned heel. They said the Hardys have stole their limelight, and that they set the bar, that they are the bar. And then the Hardys come out, a little bit more broken stuff from Matt. They go fight them, and the heels went away scared. The Golden Truth have tried to set up a tag team turmoil match. Winner becomes no more contenders next week. Apollo Crews versus Heath Slater, a continuation of the Apollo Crews Titus O'Neil storyline. Apollo Crews winning against Heath Slater with Titus O'Neil at ringside, taking a selfie with Rhino photobombs afterward, which is pretty funny to say the least. So Kurt Angle comes to address the Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns situation. Both Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns are injured, and they are out, but they're not done with each other. Bray Wyatt interrupts him and asks Kurt Angle, "Will you allow me to do my work?" Kurt Angle says that this is my show, but Bray Wyatt says this is my world. Fade to black for that. Austin Aries versus TJP, a really good match. I don't know why TJ Perkins is being called TJP now, but Austin Aries wins with the last chancery. In an excellent triple threat match for the main event, The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus the Finn Balor. The end of the match saw Seth Rollins get attacked by Samoa Joe, and Finn Balor get attacked by Bray Wyatt, with The Miz picking up the scraps, setting up 3 feuds. I really liked this. The triple threat was amazing. Favorite spot was when Rollins was going for a DDT on Miz, and Finn Balor drop kicked him, so The Miz still gets that DDT. So that was the spot of the night. Alright, now switching gears to SmackDown. So Chris Jericho is welcome to SmackDown when he is interrupted by Shane McMahon and AJ Styles. AJ Styles talks about how he's the number 1 contender for the United States Championship. Kevin Owens comes out and starts talking trash. AJ goes and starts brawling with Kevin Owens, and those two are picked apart, obviously setting up the rivalry for later. But the main event is made: Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Then we had Jinder Mahal for Sami Zayn. Kind of sloppy of a match, but Jinder Mahal picks up the win after hitting his finishing move on Sami Zayn, with the help of the Singh brothers. Keep going. Ty Dillinger beat Aiden English in about a minute or so, and Aiden English threw a fit in the middle of the ring, started crying. Chris Jericho was backstage and put him on the list of Jericho. One last little send-off for Aiden English. And Aiden English, by the way, is a very tall man. So the welcoming committee, ew, I hate that name, of Carmella and Natalya with Tamina and James Ellsworth at ringside, fought against Naomi and Charlotte. Charlotte was attacked earlier and she was prevented from coming to the ring. She comes out midway through the match, but the numbers game is just too strong. The welcoming committee win. Ew name. Becky Lynch comes out seemingly to join the heels, but turns after shaking hands with everybody else, hits James Ellsworth, and Becky Lynch then gets beat up by the heels as well. The welcoming committee stands tall. Dolph Ziggler versus Sin Cara. Sin Cara has some really weird gear right now. Dolph Ziggler wins, setting up his match eventually for the artist known, as Shinsuke Nakamura. Alright, and then we had Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. Probably the best of their three matches. Kevin Owens wins with powerbomb, and then after the match he attacks him again, and then he slams his head, which is wrapped in a chair, into the ring post, riding Jericho off of television. Alright, so now we're moving on to NXT. Bam. There we go. NXT is one of the highlights of the night. Alright, cool. So the night starts with two members of Sanity, Killian Dane and Eric Young, coming out for Killian Dane's match against Danny Burch. Killian Dane, in a back and forth effort, Danny Burch hits him with some offense, but Killian Dane is too much for him. Killian Dane wins the match with his version of the One Angel, the All-Star Plantation. Then we had Heavy Machinery versus Hector Kunzman and Ricardo Watts. A pretty brutal match for the two scrawny guys. The match ended with Heavy Machinery jumping on each other's back onto the two guys, which was absolutely phenomenal to see. I popped for that. It was absolutely great. One of my favorite NXT tag teams right now. They cut a promo afterwards saying that they want the Authors of Pain. DIY tells them that they want competition. The line starts there. 4 minutes and 45. Okay. Hideo Itami fought Kona Reeves. Hideo Itami wins with the GTS. Pretty good match for Hideo Itami to get used to it. I think he's just going to go for the NXT Championship picture after losing to go to Maine. I don't see him winning the championship in the near future. Match is set up next week. Hideo Itami versus Roderick Strong. Winner fights Bobby Roode at TakeOver Chicago for the NXT Championship. And then to find out who was the number one contender for the Women's Championship, they had a Battle Royal, which ended in weird controversy. I don't understand why a Battle Royal ended in disqualification, but when Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, and Ember Moon were all left in the ring, Asuka came and attacked each one of them, threw Ember Moon out of the ring in a pretty brutal spot. I cringed when I watched that, and the match just ended. And she went backstage. William Regal yelled at her, as you saw on WWE.com, and William Regal said that she'll defend her title against all three women at TakeOver Chicago. And finally, final segment of the show is Wrestler of the Week, and I had to explain who it is and why. My Wrestler of the Week is actually Chris Jericho. Now, the reason being it's Chris Jericho is because, it's been a while since, I don't think he's gotten it since we started it, and his run currently in WWE has been the best iteration of Chris Jericho, I think, ever. He's combined charisma and entertainment with good matches here and there, but also he is one of the greatest characters right now in wrestling. And Chris Jericho is long overdue for at least a Wrestler of the Week from this little life channel. So Chris Jericho, you are the Wrestler of the Week for us, at least for me. I challenge Brad to think of somebody different. So that is the entire week in review. Stop timer now. Yes! Alright, so that entire review took 2 minutes and 44 seconds, which means I will not be playing TNA Impact. Get this game out of here. I might play it sometime down the line, but right now it's not my priority. This game is going to be up We're gonna start playing it this week or maybe next week. I'm thinking of doing the Road to WrestleMania mode. Yes, because this is the one where you get to go around backstage. So we will be doing that, and let me know down in the comments which of the Road to WrestleMania modes you want me to start on. And so, beat the challenge. Brad, when I have to take a week off, this is what you are going to be doing. Please tell me this entire audio cut. This is what you're going to be doing if I'm not there. See this 2:44 span. Let's shut that off now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed this quick recap of the week. Hopefully I wasn't talking too fast, even though I rattled all the ideas at the top of my head. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you appreciate this. We're going to go back to the regular podcast later on this week. Hit the thumbs up to help us get to 100 subscribers by the end of 2018. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.